Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go!
Oh, eat your heart out, John Ryan, right down the middle. This isn't kicking it with Ballsy. No, it's kicking it with John Ryan, the only Saskatchewan kid to win a Super Bowl and a CFL veteran who started his football career in Regina in the RMF and has helped build it to what it is today, giving back to the community and giving back to Regina Minor football. This segment, Kicking It with John Ryan, brought to you by another great guy and his family, Ben Garrow, Advantage Collision in Saskatoon and PA. They're the family shop that cares. They're the best in-class auto body repair shop, OEM certified, and ready to meet your needs in the quickest time possible. It's Kicking It with John Ryan.
Dry January.
I heard a crack there as we started rolling. You're not cracking a beer? What are you cracking?
No, I'm not. I'm in dry January.
Why was
Diet Coke?
So that means New Year's was pretty rough?
You know what? Here's what happened. It's my birthday and Thanksgiving about the same time here.
Yeah.
And then we just start celebrating and we don't stop until January 1st. And so it was time for old John to maybe dry out a little bit. My wife, we don't call it dry January, we call it damp, or maybe a little humid. You know, there might be a couple days sprinkled here and there, 20% chance of showers type thing.
Well, there might be on the weekend for football. You got to have a couple of beers or wine watching football. Yeah, well, and you got that drinking calendar you guys have for your drinking calendar every Christmas.
The Advent calendar. Yeah,
that's right. It's awesome. So let's talk about this. Before we get to your buddy Pete Carroll, let's get to John Harbaugh as we talk now. And I'm not going to air this podcast for a couple of days after we've recorded this. So he may have already been hired by the time we're done talking here. 7 teams want to talk to him, including one that already has a head coach. How do the Ravens think they're going to get a better coach than that?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. What happens if that kid hits that kick?
Yeah.
Now that they're going to the playoffs, and now just his job is saved because of a 145-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you can't put an 18-year resume onto one game. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's so hard to find a good coach in this league because it's hard to coach in the NFL. So I think when you got a guy like John Harbaugh, you hold on to him until he wants to walk away. That's my opinion.
Do you think Lamar Jackson and him, there was a rift like they were rumoring? There was the rumor, and maybe it was we picked the quarterback over the coach?
I mean, that could be it. I know there was a lot of rumors back in the day about Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, and I heard some rumblings, and none of it came from those two. But, I just think, in my opinion, the coach always wins out. You know what I mean? Like, the coach is bigger than the quarterback. The coach is the number one guy on the team, in my opinion. So I don't know if any of that's true or not. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Lamar's been there his whole career with him. You'd be, ridiculous to see all the success that he's had to go the other way on his coach.
Mm. So your coach who helped you get a championship, Pete Carroll, he's a Hall of Famer. He'll go into the Hall of Fame. He's got enough money. Do you think it was a mistake for him coming back to the Raiders? Like, listen, I don't think – listen, it's funny. We can look at the draft order year after year, and it's the same shitty teams. It's Cleveland, it's the Raiders, it's the Giants, it's the Bengals, like Jets. It's the Jets, now the Titans. It's the same crappy teams. So I think Pete thought he could change the culture, and maybe a few games in decided, I can't do this.
It became clear pretty quick that he couldn't do it. We used to always talk. One of those shitty teams that was always at the top of the draft board was the Detroit Lions. And they go out and find themselves a coach and a quarterback. And, so I think that's kind of the two pieces I always say. If you have a coach and a quarterback, you got a chance. And I kind of thought that Pete and Gino were the answer, and I was wrong, because, for me, I'm not 100% sure why he came back. Well, I know why he came back. I know he wanted to come back. I know he didn't think he was done. He had more to offer the game. But it was just a bad situation, a bad time.
Yeah, it certainly was. One other one, Cleveland Browns. How are you going to get better than Kevin Stefanski? Like, I think he might be I don't want to say. I don't know him. Maybe he's a tad overrated, but he won the Coach of the Year twice there. He made the playoffs one year when they had 5 different quarterbacks. They ended up with Joe friggin' Flacco as their quarterback, and they made the playoffs. How do you get better than Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland?
And I feel like they finally had a pretty good draft last year. You know, I think they have a lot of players playing, and it was their best draft in a long time. They got one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in the league. Let's simmer on it. Let's not start over again. You know, I think part of the problem in Cleveland is they have such a diehard fan base that pressure from the fan base always wants them to get a new coach, get a new quarterback. And that's what we're seeing year after year after year after year. They've had like 20 starting quarterbacks in the last decade. I mean, it's some whatever the number is. It's insane. And I think if at some point you got to be like, these are our guys. This is our coach. We got to roll with it for 3, 4, 5 years and see what happens. Because you can't keep on starting over and over again.
Well, you're right, because go back to the Raiders. This is a ridiculous. This is the 15th coach they've had since 2000. This is the 15th coach the Raiders have had since 2000, bro.
That's a crazy number. And when you think of a guy like Tomlin, who's been there 17, 18 years, a guy like Harbaugh, who was there 17, 18 years, you know, when you find your coach, and he's a good coach, you stick with him. And you see these franchises that can't get right. Now, I heard people from the inside for a long, long time, and this sounds awful, but near the end of Al Davis's life, they said this team will never be good until Al Davis dies. And what happens when he died? He handed it down to his son, who's not any better whatsoever. And you just see yourself in this cycle over and over again, the same thing. And it's hard to watch because, I mean, they got the new stadium. They play basically on the road every game because so many people travel in. But you're starting to see that they have to kind of get something together here, or it's going to just be ugly for another decade.
Listen, you're a businessman now in sports. Now, I think I've asked you this, but I apologize. I'm getting older. My mind's slipping. I don't know how hands-on you are with regards to it, but you know football. Like, I always snicker when they say John Hufnagel has been hired as a senior consultant for the Toronto Argonauts, or Tom Brady's a consultant, or now Matt Ryan might be brought in as a consultant and he wants to keep broadcasting. I'm sorry, man. You've been closer to it than me. There's no such thing as consultant in football. You're either in or you're out. Bill Parcells said that. You can't be a consultant. You're either all in or you're all out. So if Brady wants to be involved with the Raiders, I think he has to give up the broadcasting and go right into it and really be committed to that organization. Matt Ryan, you can't be a CBS broadcaster and be with the Falcons. You have to do it one thing or the other thing.
I agree with that. I think it's almost like a figurehead thing. Because I don't know too many GMs in this league that are going to listen to a guy that has watched some video on the weekend on these guys when I'm in the trenches with these guys every single day. You know what I mean? Like, so I think in a way, in my opinion, it could be a bit of a slap in the face to hire some of these guys as a GM. You know, what I say goes. I don't want guys in my ear all the time. And, you know, the whole Tom Brady thing is making it a little bit murkier than it has to be in Las Vegas, in my opinion. I believe the guy owns 1% of the team, maybe 1.5% of the team. Like, his investment was like $500 million or whatever the number was. That's not a very big number in the world of football for these teams that are worth, like, maybe it wasn't that, it was 100, whatever it was. It was about a 1 to 1.5% of the team. And people are saying, like, he owns the team now. I mean, like, if I'm Mark Davis, I'm saying, no, I run this team. But, you know, it's just murky in the waters a little bit, having him, you know, be an owner of the team, and now you're talking about these advisors to the GMs and everything. I don't totally agree with it.
Okay, so I'll just tell you right now, my Super Bowl is the Seattle Seahawks against the Jacksonville Jags. So that'll go where my pick goes. But let's start with these picks. Let's go in the NFC. I got Green Bay and Chicago. Chicago finally has the makings of an elite quarterback. But I think Green Bay's going to win this game. I got Green Bay beating Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. And I don't even remember what I told you who I had, because now that I look at it, I'm like, man, this is a good game. I think home field advantage is a slight advantage. Both these teams play in cold climates. This is like a 25-minute flight from Chicago to Green Bay, or Green Bay to Chicago. It's not a big deal at all. For me, this is a coin flip. I'm going to go with Chicago just because they're at home. But that's the only reason, because it's a coin flip.
That's who you had. I think Matt LaFleur's coaching for a contract extension because he doesn't have one yet, and neither does their GM Gutekunst. So I think I think the Packers find a way to get it done. I always pick the better quarterback. I think Jordan Love's better than Caleb.
Jordan Love's better quarterback. Yep. But he's had a lot of injury problems lately too. So
yeah, and Tucker Kraft's hurt, and they've got some injuries there too. Okay, so let's do this. The Rams and Carolina. Listen, the last few weeks, the Rams. I don't know, man. I was all on the Matthew Stafford train. They're going to be in the Super Bowl. I don't think so. I think they'll have enough to beat Carolina. Do you think they can cover the 10.5-point spread on the road?
I do. So as a fan, I look at this game. I think the Rams are going to win by 14. As a player, I look at this game, and I say Carolina played on Saturday. Mm-hmm. The Rams played on Sunday. The Rams are traveling cross-country on a short week, which people say, what's the big deal of that? It's not. These are pro athletes. Yep. Every hour counts right now. We're talking. This is week 19. These guys are being put together by gum and duct tape right now. I mean, this is like the end of the year. So going east is tough, and then third of all, playing that early game on the East Coast is tough. I mean, this is a 1:30 game, so for their body clock, it's 10:30. I mean, they start warm-ups like 8:30. I mean, they're waking up at like 5:30. So these little things. So as a player, I can see the upset coming potentially. And I think that's what will keep this game close. If this game was played in LA, it'd be a 21-point game. Yeah. I don't think it's even close. Carolina might as well not even get off the bus. But I think this game is going to be a 7-point game.
Okay. I was going somewhere with that, though. The Carolina Panthers are hosting a playoff game at 8 and 9, okay? Yep. For everybody that calls the CFL Bush League, come on. Like, listen. In the NFL, I believe if you win your division, you should make the playoffs, but you don't host a game in this case. You guys were on that. You were in that situation too with Seattle.
I was, yeah. We went into week 17 at 6-9, and the winner and the Browns were 7-8 at the time. Whoever won that game was going to go to the playoffs. We won that game at 7-9, hosted a playoff game, played the defending world champions, New Orleans Saints, and absolutely shocked them in one of the craziest games you'll ever see, one of the greatest runs, the Beastquake run you'll ever see. Yeah. So I still like the division winners getting to host because I like how much the division games mean. Okay. I think if we go down this route, and I think also, I'm not disagreeing with you, because I think there's going to be an argument for that in the offseason by the rules committee. But I just like to see the winners of the division because these divisional games mean so much during the season, whereas if they didn't win the division or if the winning the division didn't mean a home playoff game, they wouldn't mean as much. So that's kind of my argument. And I think that something like this happens about once every 20 years.
Yeah.
Like this happened to us 2010. So that was the last time I remember like a below 500 team squeaking into the playoffs and hosting a game. So I think it's pretty rare. So I think just because of the rarity of it, I don't think it's that big a deal.
So that's that game. The 49ers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the gig's up in San Francisco. They have too many injuries. They can't get to the quarterback. They got some more injuries in their linebacking core. I do like Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. And I said this it was at a social media clip that I posted. The Philadelphia in my lifetime, John, and I'm a little older than you, I can't think of a more head-casey, dysfunctional, successful team than the Philadelphia Eagles. They moved on from a Super Bowl winning coach in Doug Peterson. They moved on from the Super Bowl winning quarterback in Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. Their current coach fights with fans. Their offense shuts down for half the game. Their diva wide receiver reads books on the sidelines. And are we going to trade him? Are we not going to trade him? And all they do is compete for Super Bowls, win Super Bowls, have home playoff games. I got the Eagles winning this game, and actually pretty convincingly.
Really? Wow. Okay. Yep. Well, it's hard to say. When I watched the game last week between Seattle and San Francisco, and San Francisco just could do absolutely nothing against Seattle. You want to say, is it Seattle's defense that good? Because they are good. Yeah. Yeah. Are they that good that they can hold Brock Purdy to 3 points? Or are they just San Fran out of bullets? You know, I mean, they have so many injuries. They're down. Yeah. And then you look at Philly, though, on the other side of that. I think Philly was like week 13. They're still talking about this team has no identity. Like, I mean, we're week 13, and they were like, whatever it was, they were like 9-4 or whatever. And they're like, we don't have any identity. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't have an identity. You got 9-4. Yeah. So it's a really interesting game, and I'm going to have to go against you. I'm going to go with San Fran. I liked what I've seen up until about last 2 weeks with San Fran, and then I think they are kind of running out, but on the playoffs, you never know. So I'm going to go with San Fran.
Okay, so let's go to the American Football Conference, and let's start with the Jags and the Bills. You already know who I got. I got the Jags. I think they're for real. Buffalo is Josh Allen. They've got some okay weapons, not great, okay. I don't think he is a number one receiver. He is Superman, though, and their defense is just okay. I think Jacksonville is going to beat them.
My head says Jacksonville will win. I love the way Trevor Lawrence is playing. I absolutely love it. I think they're a really good football team. They're at home, but I think Buffalo has to have a statement game. I mean, they got to come through for McDermott. You know, it'd be crazy to fire him, but sooner or later you're going to be like, hey, we have all these weapons in terms of we're winning games. Like every year we win in 12, 13 games every year, and we can't get over the hump. And I think this would be a huge statement game for them to go into Jacksonville and win this game, so I'm taking Buffalo.
Okay, so you're a former professional athlete, so I can ask you this. A lot of you guys, well, not so much you, but a lot of guys in your profession like to say, I don't listen to the media, I don't get into all that stuff, but I know, I've been in locker rooms, I know what you guys are like, okay? I've got a kid in those locker rooms now. You can't tell me that Josh Allen doesn't say to himself, he doesn't look at it and say, there's no Mahomes, there's no Burrow, my window's open here. I have to take advantage of this. He has to be thinking that.
He has to. This is kind of an open. The door's open a crack, and he's got to take it because, as you said, we're not seeing the same teams this year that we normally see, which is very nice in my opinion. We're not seeing it's like KC and who's going to play KC. You know, 'cause I was getting so sick of that whiny baby Patrick Mahomes too. So I think that Josh Allen has to. You know, he does have to take it, but also Trevor Lawrence is probably saying this is my conference now.
Yeah,
You know, I am the captain now.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. Before we get to the Sunday night game, we got the Steelers and the Ravens. Okay, the Steelers and the Texans. And that was the one. Whichever coach was going to lose was probably going to get fired. Tomlin or Harbaugh. Harbaugh goes down in the ridiculous world of the business side of sports. So the Texans defense. And rightfully so, that's what everybody's talking about. Defense wins championships. But their offense is just okay. Like, just okay. I don't know, man. I got at home, on home turf, Aaron Rodgers back in the playoffs, a little bit of energy, and he gets DK Metcalf back, which is going to help out their offense because it was just very lackluster without him. I got Pittsburgh. I've been going back and forth. I think Pittsburgh wins this game. They shouldn't, by all indications, but I think they do, like something like 24-21 or something like that.
It's fun. I saw Houston's defense live for the first time 2 weeks ago in L.A., and they were giving Herbert fits. He would drop back, and if his primary receiver wasn't open, he was running for his life. I thought the defense was so impressive. And once again, the offense came out in that game and looked absolutely lights out for the first 8 minutes. I think it was like 14-0 on the first two drives, and they looked crap for the next 45 minutes. But if there's one quarterback, if I'm picking one quarterback in the NFL right now to play against this defense in this game, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is a cagey vet. Some of the things that he was doing last week was just IQ 1,000. I like the way he's playing. I like the way he's throwing the ball. I like that he gets freaking Metcalf back if he can keep his freaking head on straight. And I'm like you. I'm taking Pittsburgh, but I'm going more like a 17-14.
Yeah. Ugly one. Okay,
it'll be an ugly one.
Give me a second here. Okay, so you know very well that I cheer for the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles, as you say it. Now I'm going to present my case, and you can decide whether you agree or not. Okay, the Chargers. You watch them against Houston, and their O-line does not stack up well against very physical fronts. But the New England Patriots do not rush the passer very well. Okay, number one. Justin Herbert, all he hears is, but he hasn't won a playoff game. But he hasn't won a playoff game. Come back to me when he wins a playoff game. I'll remind you, Matthew Stafford took him 13 years to win a playoff game, and now he's going to be a Hall of Famer, okay? Yeah. I'm not saying Herbert will be a Hall of Famer, but so...
he's on that path in my opinion.
Yeah, he is. But... There's that. He's really the reason, and their great defense, why they are in the playoffs with 11 wins 2 years in a row. And the Harbaugh factor, being physical... New England hasn't played anybody this year, and I don't know. I got the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles covering. I think it's a 3.5 point spread. I think the Chargers cover and win. And I'll do you one better, buddy. I'm going on record right now. The Chargers will beat Denver because Denver has a decent defense. Like up front on the D line, they're good. Back end, they got good corners. But Knicks is I got Jacksonville, San Diego in the AFC Championship game, but they got to get by New England first. I think the Chargers beat New England.
Wow. You know, it's crazy that we're looking at a 14-3 team that didn't get a first round bye in New England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the AFC has been tough this year. I think if there's potential for any upset, even though it wouldn't be a huge upset in my eyes, it kind of would be knocking a 14-win team out in the first round. I think this game has the most potential to be an upset. I don't think New England I'll get shit for saying this from any New England fan. For a 14-win team, they haven't really convinced me yet.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Like, I think Drake May has played great. I love watching them. I think they're going to be a good team for a long time with that O-line, with Drake May. But they haven't totally been convincing to me yet. And I think this does have potential to be an upset. It's hard to say it's going to be an upset with a team that's an 11-win team, but I still have to go with New England. I'm sorry, buddy. You're going to hate me, but I have to go with New England.
No, but here's the thing, though. The one other thing about Drake May is he has never played a defense like this. We can talk about other teams' defenses. The Chargers have a really good defense. Like, they are top 5 defense in the NFL. I'd almost put them top 3. I'd go Houston, Seattle, and the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles. They got some guys up front. They're good.
They are good. You know what? When I was at the game a couple weeks ago, Houston jumped out front like 14-0, like real quick, and I was like, "What's going on?" And they buttoned it down, and they held it together until they had a chance to win at the end. I mean, they missed a PAT and a field goal, and they would have won that game.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to remind you, but I'm just saying, for a team to jump out 14 that quick, I'm just like, this is going to be a freaking blowout. This is going to be 42-0, and that defense buttoned it down. They showed the real selves. And they held that team in there until the offense could come around. So I do believe in that defense. I think they're pretty impressive. I would put them up there with Houston and Seattle, top 5, I guess.
Is Seattle's defense now better than the one you played with?
Oh, you can't say that to me. They're good, but they have to do it over and over and over again. You know, I think if we can have this conversation about 3 or 4 years down the road, you know, because they don't have. Well, when you look at that defense that we had KJ Wright, we had Bobby Wagner, we had Michael Bennett, we had Brandon Meebin, we had Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Brandon Brown. We had absolute dogs all the way through that whole entire defense. And, you know, I don't know too many household names yet on that Seattle defense. There's a few, don't get me wrong, and there's some freaking dogs out there too, but come and talk to me in 2 or 3 years and we can have that argument.
I was just joking. I saw like one of those like Sunday Night Football intros, and they had the intro of your defense back then. And I'm like, and they're saying, is this better than the Seahawks? It's not. Like that defense.
It's funny when you go back. I remember sitting there about a year ago, and they went through that same thing that you're talking about. And I remember sitting there going, that guy made $550,000. That guy made $450,000. That guy med $500,000. Like, you went down that defense. The whole defense was worth peanuts. Those guys were all on rookie deals. A lot of them 5th, 6th round draft picks, guys that we picked up off the street basically and put together. They're absolutely, in my opinion, the greatest defense of all time.
So check this out. Seattle, I don't know if you saw this online. I'm not taking credit for it, but Seattle Seahawks we got a new pope in 2005, 2006. Seahawks went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Steelers. In 2013, we got a new pope, and you guys won the Super Bowl. Yeah. Now, the next year, you guys went and lost. We won't go down that road. Sorry, John. I have to get
There's
one.
No
back.
new pope. No new pope.
There was no new pope. And then this year, new pope. Like, we got a new pope, and now we're going into this. You know, it's the same calendar year in terms of football. So maybe divine intervention is on the side of your old team, the Seattle Seahawks. I got Seahawks and Packers next week. That'll be a good one for you. You can't tell me you'll be having a dry day that day if that happens.
You know what? I think it's just proof that God's a Seahawk. We just proved it right here on the air.
There you go. Hey, and lastly, 2 more comments. You were right, and I was right. You were right that Phillip Rivers wouldn't win a game. But
Yes.
I was right that he would not embarrass himself and he would come back and do a great job. In fact, to the point where he's getting considered for head coaching job interviews now, which I don't think is as ridiculous as you think.
I don't either. I think always the best coaches are quarterbacks, in my opinion, because they see the game differently than we all see it. I've watched thousands and thousands of hours of film, and I can sit down with a guy like probably Phillip Rivers, and he could show me 100 different things that I don't see that I think I see. And you know what? He did not embarrass himself. I think he did well.
Yeah.
I think he looked like an above average quarterback, which is for a guy that's been on the coach for 5 years in the NFL at 4 is absolutely insane.
Is that an indictment on the end? I just talked to Nathan Rourke. He had some comments too. Obviously, Nathan tried to cut his teeth in the NFL, and he was very complimentary of Phillip Rivers. But he said that's also an indictment on the NFL on who they're drafting, who they're taking, who they're keeping, and everything like that.
It's tough. I think now in the last couple of years since COVID, going from an 8-man practice squad to a 16-man practice squad is going to give them ability to develop more quarterbacks. Whereas if you have an 8-man practice squad, a lot of teams would keep that third quarterback on, but if they had the third man on the roster, they wouldn't keep a fourth quarterback on there. He'd just be done, and he'd just go nowhere. So now I think they have the ability to develop quarterbacks a little bit longer and be a little bit more patient with some of these second, third, fourth round draft picks. The first round draft picks are always going to expect to start right away and do all this, but I think they're going to have an opportunity to develop more guys now. I hope, anyways.
Okay, lastly, we got our final four. We got Indiana against Oregon, and we've got the Miami Hurricanes going up against Ole Miss, which is an outstanding story. Who do you got who's going to play for college football supremacy?
It's crazy that we're talking about Indiana as a football powerhouse. I still can't quite wrap my head around it.
That's because the NIL now, though, because all these Midwestern schools, they have money, like they have cash, and now they can pay guys. So that's why the Alabamas, the Georgias aren't competing as much.
We're going to see more teams pop up like this. More teams that have not been traditional powerhouses.
Yep.
You have 2 or 3 alumni that are billionaires that are still in the community.
Yep.
Instant contenders. So I'm taking Indiana. I actually loved what I've seen from them, and I don't think it's going to be that close because what I've seen from them has been absolutely crazy.
Yep. Yep.
And man, Ole Miss is a good story. It's tough. I know that Miami's favored, even though the 10 seed, they're favored by I think 3.5. But I'm going to have to go Ole Miss. Ole Miss, Indiana. Lane Kiffin get paid. I think he gets paid $1 million on the couch at home for doing nothing.
Isn't that sickening?
Frickin' bandwagon jumping MFer.
That's sickening. By the way, I got Indiana. I think Miami's going to smash Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss they're a great team, but I just think I hope they win. I hope it's Indiana Ole Miss. That would just fuck everything up. Which I love it.
Exactly. That's kind of why I'm cheering for that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Hey man, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year, buddy.